Alright mate, welcome to Toby's Tea Time. This week we're going to be talking about 5 tools that I've used that you can use to improve your guitar playing. Number 1, a metronome. Now this doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be something on your phone, it could be the one on your door, it could be a metronome built into an effects pedal, or even a drum loop running, all those kind of things. All you need to do is just get a beat or a click going for you to play along to, and just get yourself absolutely in line with that. And what you can also do, if you're trying to learn something that you're really struggling with, you can get that metronome, take the tempo down and practice at say half speed and then slowly bring it up. Which brings me to tool number 2, which is Guitar Pro. Now I've used this all the time, and all my writing is done in Guitar Pro, all my learning, or if I'm learning a song, it's always done from Guitar Pro. And one of the great things of that is you've actually got built in within that a speed trainer. So what you can do is if there's a lick or a riff that you've found, or even written, the amount of times I've written something that I can't actually play, you just put that down to say 50% tempo, and then you can set it on a loop, so it will play that over and over again, and then say after 2 times it'll increase the tempo by 2 BPM, or 5 or 10, or whatever you prefer. And what I do is I take it all the way through to like 110, 115%, and then eventually I can not only play it, but I can actually play it in time, and I can play it faster if I need to than the real thing. So then when I am playing it at the correct tempo, it's easy. And then the next one is Guitar Hero, Rock Band and Rocksmith. Now that sounds really stupid, but when Guitar Hero first came out in this country, I got a copy of it and I was playing it all the time. In fact, I was probably playing it more than I was playing guitar. It didn't help that at work we had an Xbox set up with Guitar Hero 3 in the staff room, and I used to spend every lunch hour on that, beating everyone's score. But when it came down to them playing guitar again, my hands were way more coordinated than they were before. And because I was so used to hitting those notes dead on to be able to get the score correct, I was then able to do the same on real guitar. And it was really good to have that kind of real-time feedback. If you're playing out of time, it's telling you. Whereas if you're playing on your own and practicing, you don't necessarily notice. And sometimes even if you're playing with other people, they won't necessarily notice. So I found that was really good. And obviously these days there's Rocksmith, which is even better because that's a real guitar. And something I alluded to just then was playing with other people. Now that is really, really good, because when you're at home, you're just playing and you can just noodle and it sounds great. But as soon as you put another instrument in there, be it bass or drums or vocals, you've got to be absolutely locked in, otherwise it sounds a mess. And if you're playing with people who are better than you, they are then pushing you to be better as well. So if you're struggling with keeping in time, and you're playing with someone who is always in time, then you can just follow them and you'll be able to improve your playing. And another one, or the last one, is actually to record yourself. When you listen back to a recording of your playing, it's like you're listening to it with a magnifying glass or with a microscope. Even more so than if you're playing live, because when you're playing live, it's kind of, you can get away with a bit more. But with a recording, everything is there and bare and there for the listening. And one of the other things as well, if you're recording into a DAW, you can actually see where the waveforms are. So particularly if you're playing a really percussive, heavy riff, you'll see that there's really definite waveforms. And with most DAWs, there's a grid. So if you can see whether your waveform, whether your transients from your notes are actually in the grid or not. And if they're not, then you know you're out of time. And if they're in, then you know you're in time. And what also helps to see what your guitar playing is like in terms of how tight your playing is now, is to double layer or even quad layer your guitar parts. And then what I tend to do is, because when you're recording, it sounds great to have like 1 pan left and 1 pan right. If you then put those monos, you put them in the middle, you'll really, really notice any mistakes, and that's really useful as well. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, give us a like. If you want to see more of this, then hit the subscribe button. See you next week.